Welcome to the Mischief Maker broadcast, where chaos, creativity, and common sense collide. Your host, Joel Freeman, was kicked out of high school in Alberta, Canada. He left home at 17 and hitchhiked around North America as a long-haired hippie and dope-smoking fool. He made a 180-degree change, becoming one of the first chaplains in the history of the NBA. As a professional speaker, Joel has traveled to well over 55 countries. His many books have been published in 28 foreign translations. Pieces from his Black History collection have been seen by millions at the United Nations and many other venues. And now, the Chief Mischief Maker himself, Dr. Joel A. Freeman.
Hi, Bigger Baby Joel here. You know, the older version of me has never used essential oils, which makes me wonder, how essential are they? I think they need to be called optional oils. There we have it. We have Baby Joel, or a young, bigger Baby Joel, talking about the essential oils should be called optional oils. And who knows? Essential oils. Yeah, that's a whole nother topic. But we're not talking about essential oils tonight. We're going to talk about Harry Swayne, and he's got a lot to share with us this evening. I have on my shoulder the brand new belt, Jack Johnson Legacy belt, heavyweight championship belt that just arrived yesterday. This is the keeper. It has 14 stones on it, and very, very excited. We were, the belt was had a previous belt that, a sample belt that we brought to Atlantic City, and had all kinds of folks like Larry Holmes and Ray Mercer and all kinds of boxers, heavyweight boxers and other categories, welterweight, junior welterweight, super whatever. And they were all standing in line to hold the belt. So if you go to jackjohnsonspeaks.com, that'll scroll down a little bit and it'll tell you about the belt. Right above, you'll see a QR code. And because it's a live show, you'll have the opportunity to share some ideas, some questions. In fact, I call you my safety net, because if I ever am missing something, a follow-up question or something like that with Harry, then I'm leaning on you to provide a question that will help to fill in those gaps. So the QR code, by the way, if you want to know the definition of a mischief maker, or if you want to see the link tree of all the different elements and past shows, make contact with Harry or anybody else that's been on this show, just go to that, chiefmischiefmaker.com, and there it'll be. So tonight we have Harry Swayne. He has 4 Super Bowl rings and 2 other rings that maybe he'll talk about. He's worked with the Ravens as head of player personnel. For those of you in other countries, you may think of football as round, like what we call soccer. American football, much different. And he played in the NFL. We're going to talk about that. And then also he worked as chaplain for the Chicago Bears. We're going to talk about that. And then being in player personnel for the Ravens and some other things that he's done in the HR, human resources realm. I think you'll find this evening very fascinating with Harry Swayne. But before we jump into the interview and the conversation, I don't even call it an interview, it's more of a conversation. Before we do that, we have a song that I wrote and produced. It's called When You Know, You Know. Mel, hit it.
The hummingbird flaps its wings, 50 beats a second, a marvel of creation, precision that can't be reckoned. The butterfly's migration, spanning across the seas, guided by an unseen hand, carried by the breeze. The coral reefs kaleidoscope, a vibrant living art. Ecosystems intertwine, playing every part. When you know that it's clear to see intelligent design in all its majesty. The northern lights, a dance of colors in flight. Electrons meet the atmosphere, a stunning sight. The honeybee's precision in a hive of symmetry, a pattern so remarkable it speaks of divinity. When you know there's a hand behind it all, a touch of the divine in every rise and fall. Each year a beautiful design, from the stars to the sea, points to the Creator in perfect harmony. Look into the heavens, see the stars align, the dance of constellations, each one perfect time. The spiral of a galaxy, the vast Milky Way, whispers of a grand design, lighting up the night and day. Oh, the DNA within us, a code of life so grand, 3 billion letters long, written by the master's hand. From the smallest atom spin to the elephant's grace, every intricate detail, a testament to faith. When you know there's a hand behind it all, a touch of the divine in every rise and fall. Each year a beautiful design, from the stars to the sea, points to the Creator in perfect harmony. The DNA within us, a code of life so grand, 3 billion letters long, written by the master's hand. From the smallest atom spin to the elephant's grace, every intricate detail, a testament to faith. When you know there's a hand behind it all, a touch of the divine in every rise and fall. Each year a beautiful design, from the stars to the sea, points to the Creator in perfect harmony.
Well, there it is. When you know, and if you don't know, you don't know. And it just is one of those things that, I'm 71 years of age now, and I've been all over the place in terms of my understanding of different faiths and studying and researching. And it comes back to intelligent design for me, although that's a buzzword that many people use. But I just think it's that song really comes from my heart, and I hope you enjoyed it. I'm generally into blues, but I don't even know what genre that song is. Today, whenever you're watching this, Harry Swayne, come on in. Harry Swayne. He's
Hey there,
a
Joe.
man with 4 Super Bowl rings. I think you got him on, right? These rocks. And tell us a little bit about that, those rocks on your hand, and you can take them off and we can get into the talk.
Yeah, sure. Yes. So I'll go with the latest Super Bowl ring. This is the World Championship that the Baltimore Ravens won back in 2012. Right,
Mm-hmm.
that was Joe Flacco days. That's when. So I think this is the last game that Ray Lewis played for the Ravens, and then the first Super Bowl the Ravens won was when I was an actual player. This one was when I was on the personnel staff.
Hmm.
But this one was the last Super Bowl that I played in and won with the Ravens. That was back in 2000. It's an awesome time. Before that, I won 2 back-to-back Super Bowls with the Denver Broncos in 97 and 98. This is the 97 one. Can't see it because it's so glittery. And and then the back-to-back with the 2 Bronco logos side by side. There, that's a little better picture. But awesome ring, awesome time. Incredibly long season.
Yeah.
I had so many injuries I couldn't keep track of them.
Sure.
Haven't played 20 games that year.
I bet they shot you up a lot, didn't they?
Yeah, I did use a few things to stay out there, that's for sure. And I wasn't exactly a spring chicken either. I was already 34 years old at that time.
My goodness.
Which is old in the National Football League for a player, but awesome time. My other 2 rings were NFC Championship ring I was given as a chaplain for the Bears when they went to the Super Bowl. Unfortunately, they lost. And my first Super Bowl, we lost against the 49ers when I was playing with the San Diego Chargers. This is the team I played for the longest too.
Now, when you're in a public setting with those rings, you're speaking or something like that, what kind of reaction do you get from people?
Wow, like that's amazing. And they can't believe how big the rings are. They are like hand trophies, but typically people are amazed that, the rocks on them, the diamonds in them, the jewelry, the size is huge. It's like having a little mini trophy on your hand. And most of them don't fit anymore because my fingers were much bigger back then. But yeah, they're amazed at how big the holes are. They don't even call them like ring size. Like, look at the size of that hole. So, yeah. And then nowadays you take pictures of everything. People take lots of pictures with them.
Yeah.
Yeah, it brings them a lot of joy, and they're happy about it.
Yeah, this one right here came when I was chaplain with the Bullets, the Bullets, way back 78, 79. I only wear it, I hardly wear it at all. It's just too doggone heavy, and it's ridiculous. Yeah. But let's take a step back in your childhood, and just kind of what are some of the earliest memories that you have, whether positive or negative, in your life, your childhood?
Yeah, probably. I had two ones that I actually just always mention this to my wife. One of the first ones is because people, I've done a lot of great things on the football field, but I never liked the game. I grew up in Philadelphia. There wasn't a lot of grass around, and we played basketball in Philadelphia. But my mom was a Dallas Cowboys fan, and she worked nights. Right, she'd come home, have a couple hours to spend with us, and then she'd get ready for her night job. And she liked Monday Night Football, and so she would have me watch the game and tell her what's happening while she got dressed and ready to go to work. And that's how I got interested in the game. I knew nothing about it, didn't know first down or anything. I was only 11, 12 years old, and so it was my mom that got me interested in the game. And I love my mom. I grew up. My parents got a divorce when I was 5. So my mom's humping it, working 2 jobs to put food on the table. I think you get that effort. But I so appreciated what she did, how she did it. And we didn't have much, but I never knew it. I never knew it. And so when I turned about 13, I wanted to get married. And I wanted to marry a woman like my mom and get her out of the neighborhood, get her out of these sad circumstances. And that is my wife today. And I had that thought. I think it might have been the first prayer that I ever earnestly prayed I went to Catholic school. My parents sent me and my sister to Catholic school, not so much for the faith, but more because it was safer in Catholic school in Philadelphia. And I remember praying a prayer to God. One of my first prayers was, God, if you give me a wife, I'll take care of her. Right. And just thinking in retrospect of all the stuff my mom had to do to keep food on the table. Yeah, I wanted to be that person for another person. Yeah.
When did you know you're better than good? Let me put it that way.
Yeah. I think I knew it for a long time. I think I knew, at first I knew I was different before I knew I was bigger than some of the other kids.
What do you mean different?
Like I knew like some of the things I just thought differently. Right. I was, some people called it, you go against the grain, or I just was not a status quo kid. And it wasn't purposeful, but if there was a kid getting teased, I would be the one kid not teasing him. And then on top of that, come to his rescue or her rescue. I did not like the bullying stuff. I didn't like teasing stuff. I got teased mercilessly in the 70s and 80s. But I didn't turn that into teasing other kids, right? And so, yeah, I just thought differently. I used my size to protect other people and sometimes put myself in harm. But some of that stuff just got under my skin when kids were mean. Kids can be mean now too. And yeah, I think at sort of young age, I knew I was different. And then as I started to get older into my preteen, teenage years, clearly I was bigger than some of the other teenagers. And so sports, I had already liked sports. I liked just running sometimes. But I played everything that I could, that my mom could afford. And I didn't always work out. Like I can remember the first football team I went out for, Pee Wees. In the 70s, you could get cut for Little League football.
Oh, really?
And I got cut. I didn't make it. And I didn't want to tell my mom, so I kept going to practice, even though I wasn't supposed to be at practice. I just went.
Not everybody got trophies back then, right?
No. But she paid. She saved up money to buy that shoulder pad and those helmets. And
go ahead.
I didn't want to catch her wrath when she found out that I didn't make it. I really didn't want my coach to get an earful from my mom for me not being on the team. But yeah, I was one of 3 kids that didn't make the team that year.
Another question. We have, let's see, Joel. Harry, how did you cope with the pressure all those years?
Yeah, that's a great question, Joe, because there was definitely some pressure. As good a player as I was, I've been a starter for most of the time. A lot of pressure. I don't think I coped with it great. I think probably the pressure got the most of me. Like I could be miserable to be around with, but the best way I coped with it was coming home to see my family, my wife and my newborn. This is back in '97. When I was a single guy, it was just video games, talking on the phone with my mom, my sister, my friends, just anything that did not have to do with football. Kind of like people today. We don't go home to do work. Yeah. That's not that easy to do when you play professional football. Because the people that love you even love the game and they want to talk about it.
Yes.
And so, but my family was great, just talking about Harry and his life and how he's doing. Yeah, so it was friends, family, a little bit of video games. Video games weren't that big when I was playing, but as a single guy, hanging out with friends, family, other people that also played. It was huge. Great question, though, Joe. I appreciate that.
We have another question here. Pete, what was your most memorable moment?
I'd have to say my second Super Bowl with the Broncos. So because my first year with the Broncos, I only signed with the Denver Broncos because their starting left tackle was retired,
Mhm.
and I wasn't going to go there if they had their starters in place because I was a starter. I'm not going to back up anybody. I mean, what do you think I was, Joe? So I go there, and sure enough, the guy comes out of retirement a day after training camp, a week before the first game, and I felt a little snookered, and and I let him know, and I got called to the principal's office because I got in a fight at practice, and that's not the memorable moment. but yeah, they didn't let me go, and the rest is history. Well, my last game with that team, the Denver Broncos, I met God on that field as that game started, and my whole life changed after that. I never played another game the same person again. And so clearly that the second Super Bowl with the Broncos is my most memorable moment, changed my life.
Yeah, I want to double click on that a little bit.
I'm sure you.
Let's see, Lenny Porter, what's the biggest challenge you faced?
Lenny, are you married? Only a single guy would ask that question. Yeah, married. I think clearly leading the family, which starts with, having a spouse and really embracing what that is clearly the biggest challenge I've ever had. At the same time, it's also the best thing that could have made me the person, the man, the father, the friend that I am today. Yeah, marriage. Yes, totally. I'd call marriage, since I was a former ball player, I'd say marriage is a type of training camp for men. Yeah.
Yeah, I've often thought that marriage and family, that's the way God keeps each generation humble, because we come into it with all the answers, and we're hot stuff, and we get humbled very quickly. The questions our kids ask us, the hypocrisy. Why are you going 70 in a 50-mile-per-hour zone, Dad?
Yes. Yeah. Did your mom ask you to tell me that? Yeah.
Let's see, Lenny, I was thinking about it, but after you answer your answer, I think I'll keep it going. Okay.
I think I answered it.
Okay. Yeah. Over the years, of course, I've worked with mostly NBA players since the late 70s. And I can't say that this is true for all NBA players, but for most NFL players, I've observed that the relationship with fathers is a tortured one at best. With fathers, and that coaches, they begin to take, they know how to take the place of the father in a player's life, and can bring a player almost to the edge of rage, and sometimes over it, but not over too much, because football, is a game of rage, and fine tuning that as a father image. Can you talk to that?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I had one of my best coaches actually was an asshole, but he was a master at manipulating emotions. And I mean, I hated him and loved him at the same time. The first 20 minutes of practice, he was okay. The last hour and a half, I'm leaving. And he definitely knew how to push my buttons. I don't think I was that hard though, because I was a kid growing up that had a little bit of rage, because like a lot of guys in my neighborhood, I was suffering from fatherlessness, and I had enough wounds to tap into to kind of fuel the intensity by which you're rewarded when you play the game of football. Yeah.
Wow. So we got, let's see, Julie, I think it is. Harry, what changes in the NFL? Changes in the NFL as your career advanced were most noticeable to you?
Probably the one that, and thank you for that, Julie. Probably the biggest one that jumps out is how the quarterback is protected now.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I would have been a much better offensive lineman if some of those protections were in already. But clearly, the protection for the quarterback that we have today was all on the shoulder of the prowess of the offensive lineman. That's got to be the most. I mean, I get the purpose for that. I mean, people go to the games, they want to see the quarterback score. They want to see the offense score, and scoring points is fun to see, right? Nobody wants to see a 3-6 game, right? And so, yeah, it makes sense from a business perspective that the league would make changes to advance the viewership and entertainment value of the game. But yeah, that one really sticks out to me, Julie. Thanks for asking.
Hitchhiking off that, the quarterback is kind of like, well, just the name quarterback, has become a term for someone who's the leader. And I know scoring points is a huge part of respect from the teammates to the quarterback.
Yeah.
But what have you seen in terms of leadership from a quarterback that has worked with the rest of the guys on the team?
Yeah, I think that role, that position is still vital today. No different from the desperate need of leaders in our country. Certainly for a team to be good, to be a championship caliber team, that position, the person in that role has to have not only the heartbeat of the other players, but the respect of them. Yeah, a lot of that comes from his exceedingly good performance, but that's not all. He's got to have the personhood that can look at another man, another person, and see their value and understand their role in the team as well, no matter how big or how small. And so, yeah, the role of quarterback in the National Football League still today is incredibly valued from a leadership standpoint.
Now, with the players, they're sometimes seeing them in one role, and then the hypocrisy maybe after the game or on the road. I mean, guys are in everybody's business. They know what's going on, maybe cheating on their wife or something like that. How does that affect the moral fiber, if you will, of the team?
Yeah, and it does. That's just it. It affects the fiber period of the team. And so, a team becomes a team or rises and falls as a team based on all the members of that particular team. No doubt about it. And so that's why some of the better teams police themselves so much more effectively than any other system could. Yeah. And for instance, if there's some poor behavior on a team, even infidelity, for instance, right? It happens. Those team members know that could very well, in all respect, affect that particular player's performance. If one person's performance is affected, then all others as well will be affected. Maybe some other individual sports, it's not one person's performance isn't so connected, but certainly in a game like football where there's 11 people that have to be in unison with each other at the same time. And yeah, it's that's what makes winning, especially at this level with this particular game, so difficult.
There's a couple of things I want to talk about after the break. We have a sponsor for the show, and we have to give deference to that. But I want to tease the after that with I want to talk about the whole idea of violence and how it's like a soldier going out on with guns and shooting and killing and everything else, then coming back after their tour and expected to be civil when someone cuts them off in traffic. And so, Mel, let's go to our Rosetta Universe, our sponsor.
I study a lot of languages. That was sort of my major in college. And I'm thinking back to the moment when I was 19 years old and I was at Berkeley. And I remember they gave us a passage of Thucydides, the hardest writer of all to read in ancient Greek. So I had this one paragraph, and I must have spent like 10 hours trying to translate one paragraph. Finally, I go, I think this is the answer. And I turned it into my professor. And he goes, Robert, you were almost there, but you missed it. You completely mistranslated this beautiful paragraph, but you were getting at something. And that had an incredible impact on me even to this day. It developed character. It developed patience. It developed discipline. You've got kids nowadays who are never going to have that experience. These incredible skills that the brain has are going to be atrophying, I fear. The brain is so much more interesting to me than any piece of technology.
Spoken. The Rosetta Universe is a project that we're putting together where we're transforming the ancient artifact, the Rosetta Stone, into a modern metaphor for problem solving and critical thinking. And one of the things that when you go to the QR code above, the first point on the link tree is all about the Rosetta Universe. And basically, when we look at the the Industrial Revolution, well, we now have about 3 or 4 revolutions. We have AI, we have quantum computing, spatial computing, and then the biotechnology of bringing together the biology, the human with technology. And it's frightening on one level, it's interesting another level, it's fascinating another level. In the wrong hands can get dystopian rather quickly. And this project here, the Rosetta Universe, is all designed to invite people, can't force anybody, but invite people to use their God-given brains before, during, and after engaging technology. You'll want to check it out. And I'm wide open. My cell numbers is there. Give me a call if you have any ideas, any advice, any connections you want to give to me, because this is a project that is global. And wherever you are in the world, it'll have a global impact on you. Harry, let's get back to our conversation.
Yes.
And well, before we jump into what I was teasing for after the break, we have Tom here. He says, I sent my son to college and it cost me thousands and he played football. So all I got from my money was a quarterback. Okay, little dad humor there.
I love it.
I do too. Hey, thanks a lot. You brought a little levity into the program tonight. So let's talk about that. There's we have, I'm not going to mention names, but people beating up their wife in a elevator. We have people, domestic abuse, and all kinds of situations, murder that have happened. And what are your thoughts?
Yeah, and nothing's changed, Joel. The bulk of the crimes committed in our world are at the hands of men, and I mean, National Football League, pro sports, is no different from that part of society as a whole. However, in my time in the National Football League, not only have I played with some phenomenal athletes, just incredible, can do anything, Ray Lewis's to John Elway to Terrell Davis. These are Hall of Famers. Some of these people that I played with, many that people haven't heard of before, are some of the most phenomenal warriors, and at the same time, have incredible capacity to love their wives and their kids, and to see them just exhibit like the most intense and aggressive but controlled and beautiful play on a football field, because it is a violent game. It's the most strategic, controlled violence you ever want to see. No different from, in many ways, a soldier on a early century battlefield as he swung his sword from riding a 2,000-pound horse. Just football isn't life or death, but to see these two roles being filled by the same person. What the wife and kids couldn't see is that I saw how fierce of a player he was, and hours later, sitting at dinner, how loving he could be to his wife and family. And that always enamored me. I wanted to know what that was about. I wanted to be that person. And I knew for sure that I wasn't yet. I hadn't been married. I mean, most of my career, I was not married. I didn't get married until after my 10th year in the National Football League. But I was always amazed at that. And at the same time, I would see some of my other teammates continue with being this warrior on the field, and they couldn't turn it off the field. And they would get in trouble, and they would berate people, and just didn't know where the boundary line was. And yeah, so seeing these two different ways of these strong, intelligent, highly performative people respond to these two different roles in the same body. Really, I had lots of deeper conversations in the locker room than people would give us credit for. I'll put it that way. Yes. Yeah.
Now, when you worked player personnel with the Ravens, what impact or what did they provide for you, or did they come to you when they were choosing a player to give your input, kind of like a scout of some sort?
Yeah, that's exactly right. Yeah. And so my role basically in the personnel department was not to look. I never looked at how a player played. Matter of fact, I never really knew who was good or who wasn't. Like, I didn't know if they were a first round pick or the last pick in the draft, or not at all. I merely just talked to and interviewed them to find out who this person was and how they would best fit in our organization. And I would write reports on that. And a big part of that meant I had to know who we were as an organization already, and the particular people that this new employee would be working with, and how that fit would happen. And so that's really how I looked at the team and the people that we brought in.
I kind of bring us into a room with a potential player come on a team. What kind of questions would you ask him?
Yeah. So usually I'd ask him mostly all scenarios. You got to remember, these are 20-year-old, 21-year-old, still developing young men, right? And this is they're living their dream, right? And they may look like they're fully grown, but physically they may look like that, but they are not. And still got a lot of developing to do, still finishing off them becoming a full-grown male. So always keeping that in perspective. Right. And so I really spoke to them in scenarios. I put them in a scenario, right? A typical scenario that would happen, like, to see how they would react in some of these scenarios. If you're playing a game and there was a personal foul committed against you and there was a really bad one and you were hurt, right? How would you react to that opponent, right? And would your reaction demonstrate you standing up for yourself or standing up for your team?
Wow.
And yeah, I usually use scenarios where some of our veteran players had failed at previously, because some of the questions I would ask in and around these scenarios were for not just the kid that we were interviewing as a potential draft pick, but for our whole coaching staff. So they also had to think about some of these circumstances that we put that are our country's best, brightest, and most athletic 20-something-year-olds. Yeah. And so, yeah. And part of the reason I did that, Joe, was because the success of this new employee really rode on the leadership that was closest to him and his influence.
Mm-hmm.
Rarely do you have a Michael Jordan, for instance, that he could go to any team and make it better. He'd make the coaches better, right? We just don't get Michael Jordans but once every 25 years, right? We don't get a Patrick Mahomes or John Elway or Dan Marino. We don't get those types of people that they come in and they actually do save the franchise.
Yes.
Right. Tom Brady saved the whole franchise.
That's
Matter of
right.
fact, he might have saved the whole National Football League. Right. He made it profitable. We don't get those kind of people every day. We need support of a community. So I took the stance, insofar as the community goes, so goes the success of the young man. And so unbeknownst to the rest of the personnel department, they were all in my player development programs.
Someday you should download a lot of those questions into some kind of a booklet that you can share with personnel directors across the NFL. I think that would be very informative.
They've already stolen half my stuff anyway, Joe.
I know.
They don't have the best parts, though.
Well, I'll tell you, I heard a lot of great things about you when you were with the Ravens. You did a heck of a job for them.
Oh, it was a blast. It was a blast. Thank you, Joe.
Bert is saying, I think it's Bert. Harry, during your playing days, you were listed 300 pounds. Tonight, you look much lighter. It was the weight correct.
Well, Bert, I tell you, that weight was correct. It's much less painful now. I'm about 70 pounds lighter than my playing weight, but purely out of just mobility. Yeah. So, yeah, it was a good thing. Now, it didn't start out that way. When I was done playing, I was still eating like I was still playing. Yeah. And so I gained a lot. Immediately, my back started hurting. I started getting pains that I never got before and had to relearn myself to reteach myself how to eat appropriately. Yeah. I was a player, Joel, that I would get fined if I was underweight. So most players get fined if they're overweight, but I needed to gain more weight. I just couldn't. Yeah, I just couldn't.
Now you function as a chaplain for the Bears. When I've talked to players in the NBA, the two categories of people that are the worst for the players are, not in any specific order, but pastors and their own family.
Oh boy. I got to lean forward on that one. Yeah.
Do you want to handle that one?
Yeah, I can absolutely see why. I've been on both sides of that coin. Yeah. So there was a while, and this was mostly in my San Diego days, there was a chaplain there. His name was Sean, Pastor Sean. He's still in the San Diego area. And I mean, he was doing his pastor and chaplain thing in the locker room, talking to players, and the ones that didn't participate in chapel services and Bible studies, he was trying to talk to them. Well, I was one of those that he was trying to talk to. I just wouldn't give him the light of day. I wanted nothing to do with him. And oftentimes I run into him Sunday morning, because chapel services were right next to breakfast. And I like to be one of the first guys at breakfast, which meant I was there when chapel was ready to start. And like clockwork, he would always ask me, Harry, would you like to join us for a chapel? And I would go, Sean, nope, I'm going to eat. I was so mean to him. But yeah, I didn't know how guys with families did it, played ball and took care of a family. I had a lot of respect for them, and they helped me see that, Harry, you should not get married, not even think about it until after your playing days are over. I just didn't realize I was going to play that long, but I did see it as a hindrance to being able to, really commit yourself to pro ball. And so, yeah, that definitely was not going to be a part of my program, either one of those two. So, irony is that I became a chaplain.
That is an ironic thing.
That's a whole story.
But they were saying, players have told me that their family tends to want something from them.
Yes.
Knock on the door and they go, and they start telling a sob story about something or on the phone.
Yes.
And next thing you know, it's like, hey, I need $50,000 or I need to pay my rent or something like that. And little do they realize that a player, if they're making $1 million that year, they're only probably making, I think the last I looked at the math was like $440,000 after the agent and the lawyer and, taxes, everything else gets pulled out. Yep. And they think and then they got to buy mom and dad or whoever, his or hers Mercedes. They got to get the house on the hill.
You got to get that.
And then the past, go ahead.
Yep. So you're broke before you know it.
Yeah. And I think one coach said, guys, you can live like a king for a year or two, or you can live like a prince for the rest of your life. It's your choice.
Yeah. And then the pastor, you're getting ready to say, he's ready for you to give to the church.
Oh yeah. That was the big thing is, so that he can brag and say, so-and-so comes to my church. Yeah. And the tithe and all the rest of it. That's the big turnoff to the players.
Yeah, yes, it is. Yeah, and I can't really blame them. Yeah.
So Terry's asking us, what's the hardest part of walking off the field for the last time and facing what you do next as a young man? Great question.
Wow.
Whoa. That came from someplace deep, Terry. Thank you.
Yeah, that's a question from somebody that has an idea, who's probably been there before. I'll tell you, probably the hardest part for me was O-line is a position where you're really connected to the other four guys on the field. I don't know if there's another position out there like it. I mean, we are playing in tandem. So the hardest part for me was not having access to the kinds of men that I had access to. Yeah, it would be gone in an instant as soon as my last play was done. And yeah, I can call them this today like it's nothing. They'll pick up the phone, but it's just not the same when you're not rubbing elbows with them and seeing them every day and them watching you watching them, and them asking you questions that only they can ask, and how they check on you the way that only they can check on you.
Yeah.
And how even if you try to lie to them, they know it.
They know it, yeah.
Right. So that was the hardest part of walking off the field. Thank you for that question, Terry.
It's a tight fraternity, isn't it?
It is.
Just look in their eyes, you know that they know that you know that they know, that you know.
It is. It is. I almost described it as it's like we got some division going on in our country now. Charlie Kirk dies, and all of a sudden I see some hate that I hadn't seen in the country for like quite a few years. And I always think about, I was like, man, if they only knew how much of a community me and my O-line teammates were, right? Because we looked just like a snapshot of American citizens. We're from all over the place, all different skin colors, and we never let that stop us. Matter of fact, those differences didn't have a chance. We could talk about religion, politics, skin color, all the isms, money, sex, women, drugs, politics, Trump, Obama, it didn't matter. Your pickup truck and my sports car,
Mm-hmm.
right? The Midwest and the mean streets of Philadelphia.
Hmm.
And he was interested in me. I was interested in him. I wanted to know him. We were in community. We were doing community together, right? We didn't even call it a family.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I get some corporations say they have a family. No, we had families, and we folded them into it on occasion. But yeah, we understood that we were the leader of our family, the one who was the breadwinner, the provider, the priest, the protector, those things. And I learned a lot from my teammates that I don't think I would have normally just rubbed shoulders with a guy from the Midwest. I didn't know anything about Iowa,
Mm-hmm.
right? And certainly no guy from Alaska,
Mm-hmm.
right? I had a teammate from Alaska. I learned more from him than, amazing. And yeah, maybe it was the game, maybe it was the sport, but I think just two people having just one common cause together
Mm-hmm.
overshadows any difference that could keep us apart.
So you were chaplain for the Chicago Bears,
Mm-hmm.
and then you mentioned earlier that you had something happen on the field in
Mm-hmm.
Denver.
Yep.
Now, how many years between those two events?
Yeah,
Denver,
18 months.
18 months.
18 months from
Wow.
that event on that field at that game and me becoming a chaplain. 18 months.
What the heck happened?
18 months after I won my third Super Bowl, I became a chaplain. I went into missions-based ministry,
Mm-hmm.
which means you work for free. Yeah. And so what happened was, God got a hold of me. I'm walking out of the locker room ready to play this game, and it wasn't like I didn't know anything about the Super Bowl. This was my third one, and I was excited, yeah, but I knew the enormity and the rarity of these opportunities. But I was on a team full of guys like that.
Mm-hmm.
And so, we were expected to win, but yeah, we had a lot of good confidence that we would. However, I'm not thinking about the game coming out of the locker room. I'm thinking about the fact that I shouldn't be here, that there's no way growing in my neighborhood should I even be still alive. There's no way after the things I did, partying, chasing after women, drugs, that I should still be on the team. Like, there's no way that I should be playing in my third Super Bowl, the best of the best, having never earnestly thanked God for getting me here. And I was just running through this. It's like a film going off, a movie film going off in my mind of all the stuff I had done, and that I did not deserve this, but I have it anyway, and a beautiful wife and a beautiful baby. I had one kid at the time. And I was just overwhelmed with gratitude, having not given honor to this God who I didn't know. And so I didn't even know what I was doing, Joe. I ran out of the tunnel, and I stopped, and I looked up in the sky, pointed up, and said, "Thank you, Jesus, for saving my life." I don't know where I got those words from. And my best guess is two of my best teammates, they were Christian guys. They went to chapel, but I didn't. Maybe I heard it from them. Anyway, played the whole game, and I'm still thinking about all this stuff. I should be thinking about the plays and the audibles, but it was like second nature to me, I guess. I never even thought about it. All I can remember is all the stuff. I was diagnosed with spinal stenosis my rookie year. A neurosurgeon told me if I took another hit, not only would I not play football, I might not walk again. I went to my second opinion, and in that time, somehow I got healed. He did not see the injury. He said, "Harry, you're completely fine. I've talked to your neurosurgeon. We're not in agreement. Good luck."
Wow. That's
And
crazy.
I played 14 more years after that.
Oh my goodness.
Never even had so much as a pinched nerve in my neck from that time forward. And so stuff like that, I should not have been remembering that in the Super Bowl in my 10th year. But that's what was going through my mind. So the game's over, Joe. We win. And typically after a win, I go to hang out with my teammates, have quite a few drinks, and, do some stuff that I probably shouldn't do. But I didn't. I avoided those teammates and I got dressed in the locker room and told my wife, just meet me in the hotel. Those two teammates, they beat my wife there, and they tell me, Harry, pull your limo up. We just won the world championship. We're going to hang out and have a great time. I'm like, okay. I take my limo. I put my wife's uncle and his 8-year-old daughter in there with me, and we go to a sub shop to get something to eat. I still have not seen those two teammates.
Wow.
Yeah, so I knew something had happened to me in that tunnel, on that field. I just didn't know what, but I didn't know that I did not have a taste to do some of the stuff that I used to do, and I didn't. The next time I'm on a team, the chaplain is in the locker room, and he's going around asking people, do you know God? Have you made your peace with Christ? And I go, I don't know, but let me tell you the story that happened to me the last game I played. And I told him that story I just shared, and he goes, son, it's time to grow. I'm like, okay, what's that mean? We got Bible study tomorrow. You'll be there. We got chapel on Sunday. You'll be there. And we're meeting at my house in a couple of nights from now. You'll be there too. I was like, all right.
Got a wonderful plan for your life.
Yeah. And so, 18 months after that Super Bowl win, I was placed as a chaplain with the Chicago Bears. One of the first people I had to tell was the chaplain for the San Diego Chargers, Pastor Sean.
Uh-huh.
I think
you had to go back. What was his response?
I think he was still a little perturbed with me. So I had to apologize and ask for his forgiveness. And he softened up after a while and goes, now tell me the story again, Harry. You got to be kidding me. Everyone was in disbelief. You, Harry? I'm like,
not you.
So me. Even my teammates know I'll be the last person. I mean, Joe, one of my nicknames on the field, one of many, was Sybil. Now,
what? Sybil?
Sybil was a book, and it was also a movie, but it was made into a movie. The main character was Jodie Foster in the movie.
Oh, yeah.
The book was about a woman who suffered from multiple personality disorder. That was my nickname. Now, to my credit, Joel, I only had 2 personalities, angry and asleep.
but you never get to choose your nickname, right?
No, that's why it's a fitting.
We've got about 30 seconds left.
Yeah.
So you're speaking now. If when someone gets a hold of you, what do you bring to an organization?
Yeah, probably the first thing I bring is understanding that people see me, whether I'm a leader or I'm a assembly worker, a janitor or the CEO, right? People can be seen and valued just by being noticed and acknowledged. I bring that very easy idea to folks. And the second thing I bring, Joel, really is just there's not just a performer in each of us, but there's also a friend in each of us as well. We're made to be in the community with each other. Sometimes that's coworker, sometimes that's a person on public transportation with us. Many times it's a wife, it's a husband, it's a friend. But we were made to do that. And so it's possible to do it even at some of the most stressful jobs.
We got to go. I'll tell you what, it's been such a wonderful conversation with
great,
you, Harry Swayne.
Thank you.
Thank you, man. Well, next week we have a really interesting, I think, anyway, I'm a DJ next week. And I'm going to be playing, I think it's 11 songs that I've written and produced. and we'll be kind of sharing some stories about them. So don't miss next week. I hope you enjoy it. And that's all. Eebity. That's all, folks.
You have just experienced another episode of the Mischief Maker broadcast. Hit the subscribe button. Connect at chiefmischiefmaker.com. Thanks for coming along for the ride. And hopefully, you are now a bit closer to becoming a mischief maker in your part of the world.